Hey everybody, happy Thursday. And since it's Thursday, that means I'm on Twitter. So if you asked your questions using the hashtag KatieFAQ, I have scanned through and answered some already. So if you're wondering if your question got answered, it might have already been answered. Ta-da! So I have 4 today, so I want to get crack-a-lackin', and I have a journal topic. Thanks, Jennifer, for that. So without further ado, first question. Hey Katie, do you have to have a diagnosis by someone qualified in order to get therapy? I thought this is a good question. I would never have actually thought about it, and I always think that these are the best ones to answer because as a therapist, I know the answer to a lot of questions and I never even think that people don't know, if that makes sense. So no, you do not have to be diagnosed by someone in order to get therapy. I know in some countries when you have socialized medicine, we have to have like a certain diagnosis or meet certain criteria. Even with insurance in the States, sometimes they'll say like, you have to have a parity diagnosis, and they can tell you what that means, your insurance, because it depends on what your insurance says. But in order to receive therapy, you do not have to be diagnosed. People receive therapy all the time without any diagnoses. Like I have a couple clients that I don't have any diagnosis for them. And I don't really plan on it because I don't really want to send anything into insurance to give them a label if they don't want it. And a lot of times we're just working on, some anxiety they have around work or a relationship that's ended or something like that. So, or just life stress, right? Okay, question number 2. How can I better help people online? I try and relate if someone has a problem similar to something I've been through or empathize if not, and be as positive as possible. But what can you do when someone doesn't want to accept anything positive? Good question. There's only so many times that you can tell someone they deserve to be more happy and that things will improve, which I completely believe, without it sounding trite. No one should feel alone or unhappy, especially if I could do something to stop it, but I end up feeling helpless. Any tips? Now, I thought this was a good question because there are a lot of people on my website and a lot of people in our community that seek out others to help them and to share their experiences and to help people gain insight and to share their insights and gain insights in return. And there's a lot of interaction, which is wonderful. And that's why I love KatieMorton.com. I love the website and I love all members of my community. Some people aren't ready for help. And I know it's hard when we want to help people and we're there to support, but some people just aren't ready for help because they don't actually want it. And I know this is really difficult and it's really hard for people to understand who aren't trained in clinical psychology and have been, we go through classes to learn how to find people at the right place and how to help them achieve what they're wanting and work through steps. And, most of the time when people finally find themselves in our office, they're ready to change, unless they're being forced by a parent or some other outside entity. But we get the lucky benefit of that. But online, people can just be searching information and not really sure what they want and just feeling really down and they don't really want to be pulled out of it. And I would encourage you, if you're finding yourself feeling drained, because it can be very draining because it's like we're pouring water into a glass that has a hole in the bottom. We're not getting anywhere, right? We're not filling them up like we're hoping and not helping them recover or feel better, is to tell them, I'm here when you're ready, and you just stop. I know it sounds like we're being hurtful, but we're really not because we're there, but they're not ready for help. So if someone's really struggling and they keep, talking about it, I would just say, I'm really sorry that you're struggling. When you're ready for help, let me know. I'm here to support. And just leave it at that because at the end of the day, that's actually all we can do. Am I right? Okay, so save your energy for when they actually can accept it. Okay, question number 3. Hey, Katie, Saturday, my coworkers and I are going to a gun range after work. But I am super triggered by guns because shooting myself was one of my suicide plans. Although I'm no longer suicidal, it is uber triggering to hold a gun. Completely understand. What do I do? Attendance is mandatory. Can I go and not participate? Should I talk to my manager and tell him the truth? I just started this job not too long ago and I don't want to be that guy who doesn't do everything. I just don't feel comfortable holding a gun. Not because I'm afraid that I'm going to kill myself, but because I know I will have an anxiety attack from it triggering my suicidal urges. I don't want to go back to that place ever again. So what should I do? Thanks for your response and I love each and every video you put out. Oh, thank you. So this person, I know that they live in the South. So I'm assuming that more people are more gun-wielding people. As in California, we're more like, no, we're like hippie, peace only. So I'd assume this is much more common. And my best answer and I guess words of advice to this would be to talk to your manager. Or if you have someone in HR, I don't know what kind of structure there is within your company. If you have like a corporate entity and you can contact HR, that's the proper protocol. But I always find it best to talk directly to our managers because they're the ones that we really want to understand and know that we are a team player and that we're not just, the guy who doesn't do anything. And I would just explain, I would just say, I don't even know if it's up to you how much you share. You could share your story and say, there was a time when I was in a really dark place and guns were something that I thought about using to end my life. And so, I just would rather not be involved in this. I'd love to meet up afterwards if you guys are going out for food or drinks or whatever, or however you want to structure it. Or you could even just say, if you don't want to share all the information, you can just say, as a child, my family was never really around guns, and guns make me very anxious. And it's something I don't know if I can be around it. Can I meet up after? Or is there something else we could do or something like that? It depends on how much you want to share, but it's your story. It's up to you how comfortable you are, but I would definitely not go because it's not going to be good for you and you're protecting your recovery and yourself. And then I would just be as honest as I'm comfortable about it, and I would tell your manager, and then I would meet up later if that's a possibility. Okay? Let me know how it goes. Question number 4. Hey, Katie, I have a younger sister who's 15 years old. She was smoking and drinking and having sex, so I told my parents to protect her. Now my mom wants her to start seeing my therapist. I don't want her to start seeing my therapist, and I've been seeing her for 4 years now, and my therapist is the one who recommended that I tell my parents about her bad behaviors. I'm really confused. Is it okay to feel this way, or am I just being really selfish? I want her to be able to see a therapist because I know how much it can help, but I don't want her to see mine. We all feel this way. I've even had clients that are like, but you have other clients? They didn't like that I had other clients. So I would usually schedule them before I had like a break, like a lunch, so that they didn't actually see any of my other clients. They didn't know technically that I had other clients, even though they knew. It kind of rubbed them the wrong way. They like to think of it as this is the only thing that I do. It's just them and me, and that's it. And it's the only therapeutic relationship that I'm in. And I get that. A part of it is because it's like our sacred space, and I think that we can hold that dear, and that's okay. I don't think you're being selfish. I also think that your therapist may or may not be comfortable seeing your sister. Some therapists hold in their ethical standards in their mind that they only see like either a whole family or one member of the family. Oftentimes, like if I see a couple, I don't see one member of the couple on their own, because then that would taint the way that I manage the others. And I think that holds true for families as well. So I personally don't like to see separate members of families unless I start seeing them all at the same time, because then I'm more apt to side with one person or think one way because I already know part of the story, if that makes sense. I can't be as, like outside see bigger picture like I normally like to be. But I would express that. I would even express it to your therapist. She can refer them to someone else. And that's what I would encourage you to do. You're not being selfish. It's just something, it's your sacred space. It's your sacred space. And it's someplace you go to vent, and it's good for you. So I would keep it that. If you think that's going to taint it, I would just express this. If you think you can express it to your family and they'll understand, I would tell them, because the more honest and open and communicative we can be, the better. But if you're worried that they may not, and they may think you're being selfish or whatever, I would talk to your therapist about it. Express how you're feeling. Vent it, process it, and then together you can decide what to do next. Okay? Now, the journal topic today from Jennifer says, if this hasn't been done before, and it hasn't, I have a journal topic. Write a letter to one of your struggles. Say whatever you want. Call it names. Get angry at it. Tell it how it has made you a better person. Tell it how you will overcome it. Just let everything out onto the page. I thought that was a great idea. So grab your journals, write down something you're struggling with, be it anxiety, depression, a job situation, a relationship situation, and yell at it. And then tell it how you're just going to squash it and overcome it and be a better person because of it. Okay? I'll see y'all tomorrow because it's Friday. And I'll be on Facebook, so ask your questions there using the hashtag KatieFAQ. Bye!